So, today we're looking at active learning strategies and how you can best help your learning when you're engaged in vocational education and training. So, what is active learning? Active learning involves engaging with the knowledge and skills that you're learning to make it real for you and therefore easier and more purposeful to learn, to make your learning meaningful. Active learning enables you to relate to the information, understand it, and then use it effectively. So we've got this little graphic here. Learning involves listen or stop, listen, understand, and then act. So going ahead and using your learning and that being part of the actual learning. So how do you use active learning strategies? Talk about your learning, not just about what you're doing on the weekend or what you need to buy at the supermarket, but engaging in conversation about the learning, both with the trainer as it's being presented in a back and forth communication, with other students as well, listening to their ideas and experiences, questioning, and making learning about not just even a two-way process, but a many-way process. Write about what you're learning, take notes, answering question and answer formative questions throughout your learning is not only for the trainer to see what you're understanding, but it's also very much part of you embedding your own learning. Describe, so similar to writing, but describing to somebody else what you understand about a topic that's been taught. Touching, so getting practical, doing what you can, or perhaps simply using kinesthetic learning techniques. If you say had to study for exam and you could incorporate a touch aspect into your studying, like touching particular parts of the notes as you're going through them and learning them, tracing over things with fingers. Those can all be helpful things, particularly for tactile or kinesthetic learners. Interact with others about the learning and reflecting on the learning. What does this mean for you? What would this mean in different sorts of situations, different workplaces where you could apply it? How does this fit in with what you thought before you engaged in that learning, or with what you've seen in your workplace perhaps, or different workplaces you've had? And ask questions as you go, and after you've done some further study, and you might come back to your trainer and ask questions. And problem solving, making your learning as real and practical as you possibly can. There's the proverb, I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. And that's very much part of vocational education and training, trying to make learning as practical and real life as possible, relevant for the workplaces that you're training for. When you're active learning, it's all about making links with the new information that's coming your way. So our learning is enhanced when new information is linked to our existing skills, our knowledge and our experiences, when you can make those connections between what you already knew and what's coming your way now. It might disagree with what you've known before and result in a bit of a paradigm shift, or it might complement what you already know or believed about a subject. But either way, those links and putting things together are a very important part of the learning process. Connecting your study to your life experiences, like with your family or children, your cultural context, not just multicultural type of context, your cultural heritage, but also your home and your environment, your setting, your contextual setting, like living in the city, the suburbs, the country, being involved in football clubs, CFA, arts organisations, wherever you can connect your studying to any experiences you have in life, you'll be making it more personal to you, therefore more meaningful to you, and more easily understandable. Having said that, it's important to link new information to your own context. So it's important to link new information to your own current context to make it relevant and useful. But having said that, you also need to try and relate the skills and knowledge to other situations, other circumstances, and other environments. So not just having a closed mind that the way you could do something is the only way, but understanding that in different contexts, in different environments or workplaces, with different clientele perhaps, that there are other more appropriate ways for in those different settings. So being open-minded to the whole variety of ways there are out there about what you're learning. Listening to and learning from other students is a great way to do this. So one of the things that's fantastic about any sort of adult learning is that the trainer isn't simply the voice of all knowledge. As adults, we learn from each other. We learn from each other's experiences. We all bring something different from our background into any learning environment that we're part of. And a good trainer will facilitate that experience from everyone, and you'll be able to share what you have to offer in the different parts of what you're learning, and you'll be able to benefit from the experience of all the other students in that learning classroom, training room, online experience even, when facilitated by a good trainer or a good, well set up training environment. By sharing your own experiences as they relate to learning, you're not only helping all your classmates with your experience, you're really solidifying your own thoughts and understandings, and you're sort of running them by others and getting their perspective on what you think. So that can only believe that the more you put in to an active training environment as a student, the more you'll get out of your learning. So it's really important to come to learning with an open mind and a willingness to give as well as take and learn.